And welcome back. Thanks very much for staying on with us. You're watching WION World is One. I'm Molly Gambhir, and this is our continuing comprehensive coverage of the latest coming in from on the ground as we monitor the latest as a result of the heat of the India-Pakistan war. It's being felt on the ground, and the Indian Armed Forces have brought down an onslaught of drone fire unleashed by Pakistan. In fact, we have been telling you what things have looked like on the ground in Jammu. Sources have said that all artillery and drone attacks have been completely foiled by the Indian Defence Forces. India saying all is under control. In fact, defence sources saying 8 missiles from Pakistan were directed at Satwari, Samba, Arispura and Arnia. Those are the specific details that have been trickling in, and all of these have been downed. In fact, 3 Indian military bases targeted by Pakistan. Remember, we've been telling you about what things have looked like on the ground in Jammu as well. In fact, the headquarters of India's integrated defence staff has posted on the platform X, I'm quoting now, military stations of Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur in proximity to the international boundary in Jammu and Kashmir, targeted by Pakistan using missiles and drones. No losses. Threat neutralized by the Indian Armed Forces as per the SOP with kinetic and non-kinetic means. No losses. Those have been the targets. We've been telling you about the military stations of Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur in proximity to the international boundary that have been targeted by Pakistan. Let's go straight across now to Major General Neeraj Bali, who's with us on the broadcast. Thanks very much for being here. Your assessment of what things are looking like at this point.
So, first of all, I'm speaking to you somewhere in Punjab where there's complete blackout at the moment, more from precautionary reasons. Look, this is a very irrational and strange step by Pakistan, because so far all the steps that were taken by India were measured, were very calibrated, with absolutely no desire to escalate things till they started attacking our military targets. But one would have thought that after this morning's attack on Lahore and air defense, etc., and after that, what the foreign minister went on to speak, that we didn't have a desire to escalate matters, we thought Pakistan would take the rational way out and start spiraling this downwards. But this is a very strange attack, and it defies logic as to what their end game can be. With the kind of parlous state their economy is, surely they are not looking to engage us in a full-fledged conventional war. If it comes to that, I'm sure that will be that. But as of today, this is an escalation of a very serious kind. It's not just that they're spinning a narrative, but they are sending a message, and a message that certainly requires to be responded in full measure and in the appropriate domain, as Mr. Vikram Misri said during his conference today. So that's where we are right now.
Indeed. Let's also talk about India's strategy, its strong message that's been given out to Pakistan. In fact, reiterating its stance earlier in the evening as well, the Indian Foreign Secretary. And the messaging, of course, has been that India is not interested in escalation. Yet we see a fresh round of aggression being unleashed by Pakistan. Let's just talk about the significance of the statements that have been put out by India and its messaging and its approach at this point.
Right from the beginning, and let's remember that we were the one who were responding to an attack on us. That's on Pahalgam. It's not Pakistan which is responding. We were the one, we were on the other side and we were responding. Right from that point of view, the Indian response has been professional, very calibrated. I haven't seen even a little bit of chest thumping or threatening or issue of dire warnings, the kind Pakistanis issue at the drop of the hat. If you recall, the night of 7th and 8th, we attacked terrorist infrastructure. We clearly mentioned that no military targets were being attacked. That was a clear enough sign that we were not interested in escalating beyond a certain point. Pakistanis responded that by targeting our military infrastructure. And therefore, the stage was set for what we did this morning, neutralizing a very important piece of air defense equipment in Lahore and attacking a few other bases. After that, if you also notice that what the statements made to the Iranian visiting foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar said that we are really not interested in escalating the situation. That's not what we are looking at. And even today's press conference by Mr. Misri was very measured. The tone was fairly neutral in the given circumstances. But what I've said and what a lot of people have said about Pakistan, Pakistan has what we call cultivated irrationality. They will do something which defies the normal rational order of things. For example, as I said earlier, what could be the end game of this? What is Pakistani expecting? That there would be no response, that they're not dragging themselves into the kind of conflict that they cannot afford, having been reduced to carrying a figurative begging bowl all over the world. So therefore, either it is for internal messaging purposes that Mr. Asif Munir finds himself in a powerless condition and wants to coalesce the population or the opinion behind himself and try to, that's why he's doing. But if this is what he's doing because of that, then I'm afraid it's very short-sighted, because this is not strategic at all. And I think let's wait for the night. We have some very encouraging messages from IDS and others that there's been no loss anywhere. It looks like a little more of some more of a performative kind of attack by Pakistan. But having said that, there will be a response. So let's wait and see, and there will be an appropriate response, and there should be.
Indeed. Stay with us. Just a quick roundup for our viewers who might just be tuning in as we continue to monitor the latest coming in. The situation as has been unfolding in Jammu and other parts of the country. The Indian Armed Forces have brought down that onslaught of Pakistani aggression. Of course, we are talking about places like Bikaner that have, or in Bikaner, Jaisalmer, that have also witnessed that blackout. Let's also talk about the 8 missiles that were unleashed by Pakistan, directed at areas like Satwari, Samba, Arispura, Arnia. They've all been downed. Military installations targeting that. The Indian military, of course, has categorically said that all of these attempts by Pakistan have been foiled, and that's the message, strong message coming in from India, that all is under control. Let's just talk about the pattern here on part of Pakistan, the repeated ceasefire violations, and taking it all the way to this extent of heightened aggression.
So here is a Pakistani playbook which has been visible not just today but even in the past. When Balakot happened, again, it were we who were retaliating to an attack on our territory. What did Pakistan do? They did a haphazard, ham-handed, knee-jerk attack the very next day. And thereafter, we allowed the matters to rest, and the matters ended there. So it's in peace with what they do. Every time there is an action, they tend to take an immediate knee-jerk reaction without looking at the long-term, consequences. And this is what they've done every single day, single time since 36 to 48 hours ago, when this whole spiral started. The second part of their playbook is that they don't care for international law. They don't care for international borders. They definitely do not care for the civilian collateral damage. We have been very careful and very measured in all this. Look at what they've done. Loss of several lives in Punch, shelling of a Gurdwara, shelling elsewhere. The attack on Jammu airport, to those of you who've been to Jammu airport, and I've been there dozens of times, it's an airport which is right in the heart of a lot of residential built up area. People live all around. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine was saying, every time you land in Jammu, you think you might land on top of a house. Is that close? So to choose a target like that shows utter disregard to any collateral that might happen. And this is part of their playbook. They don't really care. The third thing is the communal element in whatever they do. It was laughable that they said Indian attacks on the 7th, 8th, 9th were on some of the religious places. That's not what we were targeting. We were targeting terrorist infrastructure. But look at them, starting at Pahalgam. Look at what they've done into a Gurdwara Sahib in Punch. They don't care about this business of being communal or not being communal. So these are parts of their playbook. I think These are steeped in irrationality, and that is why there is all the more reason that we need to not only be careful, but think of all things that might happen. So far, the situation appears well under control, in spite of all the dramatic stuff that you're seeing on your screens. I don't think any of our countrymen need to panic or to think otherwise. Things are under control. Things will remain under control. But if Pakistan decides to keep escalating like that, then I'm afraid we'll have to play the cards that are dealt to us. And it can have dire consequences for Pakistan.
Indeed, and a reiteration coming in, any escalation by Pakistan will get an appropriate response, and all is under control. That's the larger overarching message coming in from the Indian side, even though Pakistan has unleashed this fresh round of aggression in this form, and as we've just discussed, at this heightened level. We've been talking about what things have looked like in different parts of the country. Let's also talk about the fact that these are, this is coming at a time when the situation for the last few days, the way it has spiraled, given the stance that India has maintained, what do you think Pakistan is trying to do at this point? Because India has categorically said that it's not interested in any form of escalation.
Look, I have always believed that when you are dealing with an enemy like Pakistan, an opponent like Pakistan, you must not foist your template of rationality and to think this is how we would behave, so therefore this is how Pakistan will also behave. They have never followed that template. They tend to be irrational. Look at what they did in Kargil, complete miscalculation of our intent, of our culture, of our systems, and simply coming and occupying our posts, something that nobody had really imagined. So I wouldn't hazard too many guesses on what Pakistan would do. I think I would focus much more on our own capabilities, our own preparations, our own strength and might. So it's in that light that I'm again repeating that much as this looks dramatic, and it kind of reminds me of my childhood in 1965 and 71, I saw similar things streaking on the skies, and they all look very dramatic. It is dramatic. It's real. It's not a video game. We need to be cautious. We need to be careful. We need to be disciplined. But we definitely don't have to panic. We have the strength. We will give a reply in due course. And as Mr. Misri said, we will give it appropriately and in the right domain. So let's hang on and wait. What Pakistanis will do next, I think we should stop worrying too much about it, because their playbook is always to just do knee-jerk stuff, something which looks good in the short term, something that plays to the gallery within their own country. That's not how strategies work out.
Right.
So let's see. Let's wait and see.
Indeed, important to highlight for our viewers who might just be tuning in, India making it very clear that all is under control, and that's the message coming in from the Indian Army veteran speaking to us as well, Major General Neeraj Bali. There's no need to panic. The reiteration of India's stance, remember, has been that it has not been interested in escalation, but with the way things have panned out on part of Pakistani aggression over the last couple of hours, we have been telling you what things look like in Jammu. From that, we've been telling you how blackouts have been witnessed in different parts of India as well. As we continue to monitor those developments, just a quick roundup for the benefit of our viewers about the details that have been trickling in at this point, beginning with what things look like in Jammu, starting off with those drone attacks, the artillery and drone attacks that were unleashed by Pakistan. That completely foiled. The military stations at Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur targeted by Pakistan